Let us begin. Start with a prayer, as usual. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let us maybe just start with just a couple of minutes of just taking a couple of deep breaths, bringing in the right intention for our practice, trying to bring in that interest, that willingness, casting off all the tamas, that laziness of the body, invoking the divine presence. Before we start our contemplation, we can try to bring in that attitude. So just a mere thought, a mere sankalpa, which is purified through our desire for progress, our willingness. Such a thought can be transformative in whatever actions we do. Once again, use the support of the breath, inhaling with intention and exhaling, dispelling out all restlessness, all unwillingness, all that rust, tamas and rajas. And let us invoke the Lord's presence, the Lord's blessings, that we might be able to contemplate deeply on His teachings. We might be able to derive the utmost benefit internally. Let us also invoke the blessings of all the rishis and the gurus, filling our heart with that attitude. We will now look at the contemplations first. Okay, so this is the last few slokas of the chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, Yoga of Meditation. So in this, the Lord is going to talk us about how all the practices we do is never going to get lost. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Partha naiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. So he's saying that, O Partha, for one who performs noble deeds, especially spiritual practices, all we have these things like karma yoga, say bhakti yoga, and that. So any seva we do, or any practices we do, like meditation or studies we do, there is no loss either in this world or the next. O my disciples, such a person never meets with an unfortunate end, meaning that it is not like nothing, there's never anything bad or anything that could happen. But more in that sense that ultimately everything in this path, once who has come on the path, is happening for one's own progress, is going to lead to one's own progress. So this he continues, and of course the teachings are there in that, but we will look at the contemplations. How do we contemplate on that? So the first thing is that there is a tendency sometimes that when we start practicing that, we start thinking, oh, how will it make a difference? We may lose interest, or we may think it's a long drawn out path and I will never be able to make it. Just like how if we were to start at the later age, middle age, and we think that we want to become some tennis champion, we will never be able to make it in this life. But here it is not viewed from that perspective. How we will look at it. So the first question we can ask ourselves is, do I tend to assess my achievements or failures using extreme judgments? Sometimes like we think, I will not make it, or sometimes we think even little thing we might overdo it. So it may not be that harmful, but we have to also sometimes be realistic, because we need to know what we need to make progress in. So we have to see what applies to you, what applies to us. For instance, do I view things as either complete success or total failure? So what is our tendency we have to look at? Are my valuations based on comparing myself to others, or do I set reasonable goals for myself? So if somebody is practicing like 10 hours meditation, or somebody is studying many hours of scriptures, or able to do a lot of things, and we are not able to, then we will get an inferior feeling. Oh, I cannot do this, they are doing so much. So we have to see where we are. And at the same time, if there is a newcomer, new beginner, he is not able to meditate at all, but we can meditate 10 minutes and you say, oh, great, I am successful. So that is also not right, because if we are meditating half an hour, then we should increase to more, 31 minutes next day, 32 minutes next day. So like that. Can I identify present day skills or accomplishments that originated from efforts I put in years ago? So this is what the Lord is assuring. Naiveha namutra. Iha vidyate. So he's saying that any efforts you make, anything we do, any studies we do, any act of devotion we put in, or any seva we do, none of it is ever lost. We will actually sometimes, can get this feeling, oh, I practiced so many things. Now, I'm some reason I did so many yoga, but now my health is not good. I cannot do yoga. So nothing is lost in that sense. So that how it is not lost, it is looked from two perspectives. One is it is not lost because we are on a spiritual journey of lifetimes. So sometimes we see students, they have ready interest, ready willingness, ready attitude. So if we really try to look at it, it is not from this life. So, okay, if you don't believe in next life, then even that samskaras, that impressions, everything is an accumulation of mental tendencies. So sooner or later, these tendencies in this own life, in this very life, they will come to help us. Every act of devotion we do, every act of practice we do, every act of services, they leave a mental impression, and they will help us, enrich us, give us that feeling of positivity activity, in other fields also. Just as past labors contribute to current abilities, which of my present day efforts could potentially lead to future growth and increased mental skills? So if we spent half hour here every day for the past 1 week, so this will actually accumulate us and leave us a tendency the next day to continue do our own, even though if there is may not be group support, we will have a greater tendency. So where did that tendency come from? It's based on these efforts we have put in. Can I reasonably deduce that none of my efforts ever go to waste, including my efforts at meditation and spirituality? And one of the greatest thing is that in our path of journey, it is what we are trying to do is we are trying to uncover our own true nature. So this is ever accessible to us. So any effort we have put in, it can happen overnight. In that sense, we can come to complete recognition of our true self overnight. Okay, some inspiration. Life cannot be measured solely by the labels of success or failure. Likewise, we should not abandon efforts to improve just because we may not achieve our goals in this lifetime. Every endeavor to change ourselves or serve others holds value and will fructify at an appropriate time. According to the Indian scriptures, life after life, we continue from where we left off previously. Therefore, until our last breath, let us strive for inner perfection. So there's one more similar one. Prayatna yatamaanastu yogi samshuddhi kilbishaha. Aneka janma samsiddhis tato yati parangatim. The yogi striving with determination and sincere effort, purified of all sins and perfected through many births, ultimately attains the supreme goal. So some manana for that. So this is a difference here. We are talking about inner perfection, not about outer perfection. What does inner perfection mean to me? So some of us may be interested more in developing in the path of meditation alone. Some of us may be interested more in it as a practice for realizing one's own true nature, self. Some others may be interested in just helping us improve our attention, our ability to focus. So what is it? What is the main thing that I'm looking for? That is my main interest. How does it differ from out of perfection, seen as in works, arts, or sports? What is purifying the mind and heart? Why is purifying the mind and heart crucial on the spiritual path? How does it impact my growth? So for those of us who are striving on the realizing one's own true nature or realizing the Supreme Lord, so this aspect of purifying the mind and heart, this is a very important stage of sadhana. So all our things like meditation, Dhyana Yoga, Seva, all this are driven towards that. How we may be able to purify our heart, our mind, because that is the crucial thing in realizing true nature. How can I improve myself over multiple lifetimes on the spiritual journey? So for those of us who know that this is not the only life I've had, so we can also realize that, if I don't in this life make that thing, then either at the point of death, I should have that clarity of my true nature. Or if I require to come back in another life, I should not come back in the present state of chaotic mind I came back in this lifetime. So this is what practices contribute to this evolution. How can I acknowledge my efforts and stay motivated? What mindset helps sustain progress? So this we know that by now, like meditation helps us to achieve that state of stillness, that state of clarity. Sometimes we may struggle for hours with some problem, but if you meditate for 10 minutes, half an hour, and then you approach that again, you will see there's greater clarity. So, this is the mindset even for all practices we do. So, just few inspirational thoughts. The yoga of self control and inner purification holds the highest place according to spiritual teachings. Also, this chapter is called as Atma Sanyama Yoga, that ability to control that tendencies, that mind through Ashtanga Yoga, and all that is given. So this is one of the essential kind of teachings. One who has mastered self-control gains immense abilities and can achieve anything effortlessly. So we know of many yogis who have siddhis, many siddhis, many outward accomplishments come through this ability to focus the mind and have control over our inner instruments. So this is also, a very important aspect of sadhana. A pure heart and a focused mind are invaluable assets for a seeker on the spiritual path. Such spiritual qualities make a person richer than even the materially wealthiest persons. So this is why, many people are not interested, don't give higher priority to wealth. Although for our needs it is necessary, but if you have that right inner perspective, that heart, that thing, none of those wealth is equivalent to that. So everything will come to that yogi who has that pure heart and that focused mind. Okay, so let us just use these things and just again, uh, you know, uh, for purifying our intention in practice. We can just try for a few minutes now, just to see if my intention, what is my intention? Let us use it as a contemplation in all my sadhana. What intention do I bring in? First is, do I have that intention that I will succeed or not? Or do I just try that, okay, I'm just trying somehow, and if it works, it's okay. If it doesn't work, no. Do I have a clarity in my daily life of all practices I do? Whatever practice we are doing, hatha yoga, meditation, japa, puja, or shravana, manana, am I really putting my full-hearted effort? And if I feel I can improve, what is it that doesn't allow me to make that efforts my fullest efforts? Like if I'm meditating for 10 minutes, why cannot I not meditate for twice a day for 10 minutes? Why cannot I make it slowly, like increase 1 minute a day? What is holding me back? Do I have the right priority? Do I feel like this is not a real gonna help me? It is somewhat a waste of time. So somewhere, even though we may not admit it at the background of our mind, sometimes we hold these thoughts. There are more important things. We all know that we will make time for food because that hunger comes, but that hunger of our soul, the hunger of our deep being for realization, for the awakening to its true nature, we are not, are we really yielding to that? Or are we just caught up in the gross cravings of the body? And then the other thing is also to see that we can. If we feel that we are limited, we cannot do it by ourselves. Any resolution we have taken for this year, if we feel we cannot do it, so here is where we should invoke the blessings of the divine, of the wiser ones, and feel that we are being blessed by them. We feel we are blessed by that one divine reality who wants us to awaken to our full potential. So we can cast aside that sense of, I have to make all that efforts to get there, because we are supported. So just hold on to that feeling that I am supported, I am enriched. I will make that effort. I can do better. I can improve. I can attain that highest realization. So this is a background thought that I have to keep making more efforts. I have to keep improving for internal growth. This should be our constant companion in life. In reality, all efforts are for until the part of realizing our true self. And that realization itself doesn't need any efforts. It is a mere act of recognition. Yet the efforts are for all these outward resisting forces in us, which doesn't allow us to, one, recognize the true reality, and two, it doesn't allow us to abide in that, because these tendencies are again pulling us back outward. So the efforts, some masters tell us no need to put in any efforts. So that is when you are completely realized, you're completely abiding in the self. But until then, all these yogas, four yogas, bhakti, jnana, karma, dhyana, all these are useful means to bring us to that abiding in the true nature. So this abiding is possible at every moment of life, whether we are healthy or not, whether we are calm in mind or restless. So at every moment it's possible, but the foundation of that is through all these yogas. If we have set the foundation, then the recognition is instantaneous. building high enough is easily accessible to the sun, to the sky. But if the building is low down and covered by a lot of other buildings, then the light of the sun and the openness of the sky is concealed. Similarly, in our life, these yogas are the foundation, are the building blocks. So let us take the last couple of minutes to just make a deep sankalpa, deep intention to work on whatever areas in our life that we need to, whatever resolutions we have taken. 2 steps, let us first reaffirm our intention to work on them. Number 2, let us try to invoke the blessings of the divine in realizing those resolutions and making progress to realize the ultimate. These words of the Lord where he assures us, Prayatnat Yatamana Yatamanastu Yogi Samshuddhi Kilvishaha Anekajam na samsistis Tato Yati Param Gatim. The yogi, striving with determination and sincere effort, purified of all sins and perfected through many births, ultimately attains that supreme goal. The yogi is superior to the ascetics, superior to the learned, superior to the performers of action. Therefore, O Arjuna, become a yogi. Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. So may we all take this message to our heart and with a deep intention, let us also pray for the well-being of everyone. Mentally, you can just join me. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhave. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. So this is the last of our 7 sessions which we have done. And I encourage you all to continue with the manana, with the inspiration. And at the same time, you can come back and watch these. Hopefully it will be available on the online on YouTube sometime. So I appreciate all of you who joined for all the 7 sessions, and wishing you all a blessed new year and on progress